Welcome to Stop for a While. Imagine arriving at the peaceful place, the very end of the road on a long day's trip. This is where you can finally kick off your shoes, take a deep breath and just relax. We're on the Fraser Coast in Queensland, a quiet hideaway where new friends are made, the yarns are long, the laughter comes easy, and sometimes the truth takes a well-earned holiday. We meet the wanderers, you know the kind. Those unique, quirky characters you run into out on the road. They're the reason these stories come alive. They're made for that magic hour, when the tent's finally up, the caravan's level, and you've got a cold drink in your hand. We talk about what happened on their journey, whether it actually happened that way or not. But that's half the fun, isn't it?
Going for the brake control of the van and deciding when to put the foot on the brakes. The quick instance, I could feel the van was swaying and we hit the edge of the bridge.
A can of beer and a new business isn't quite what you think. But first, at the peaceful place, we are so close to nature that campers sometimes look in awe. Turtles in the creek, dolphins off the coast, kangaroos in open grassland at dawn and dusk, and a really angry possum in the bush behind us. Last week the dog was out there doing his business and was being stared down by a possum. He was just all noise. And noise, let me tell you about noise. There was a painful screeching near the amenities block, and where it was actually coming from was hard to see. Then two guests finally pinpointed it to under the bonnet of a car. When they opened it up, along the edge, in the infrastructure of the car, was a green tree frog. It seemed to be hurt, but after a little bit of coaxing, it hopped into a bucket and went back into the bushes to nurse a sore back end and a bleeding eye. We think we heard it again a few days later. True or not? Well, we'll have to see. But that's part of the fun here at the peaceful place. A few weeks back, Rohan came for a visit. He stopped for a while because he was looking for a quiet, calm stop. Not a windy one, just up the coast. So where have you been so far?
Well, ours is not. We're only from Brisbane, so
Yep.
We've only really come up from Brisbane. We got here last Thursday. We're leaving tomorrow. Yeah, so we pretty much drove straight here in one day. Got here, last Thursday. So
A lot of travelling before that, though?
not over Christmas, no, but I have done a few Ks in the van. So
In this van or other vans as
other
well?
vans, the other van,
Yeah.
had another van earlier on when the kids were young, but once they started sport, we didn't really use enough, so we sold it up.
Yeah.
And
Because you've always got to be available Saturday morning at 7:30 to take the kids somewhere or another.
sport. Yep, Dad's taxi.
Oh, Dad's taxi.
Dad's taxi,
Oh, okay.
because Sam, my wife, had to work. She worked in retail, and you know what retail's like.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just want you there. So
They just want you there.
So we did a lot of holidays, kids' holidays without Sam, because I was with another company and I was only a supervisor, and it wasn't big wage. So one of us had to.
One of you had to give it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in 2004,
Yep.
I came up here and up to Queensland to fill in for a mate who was off to the Olympic Games in Greece.
Yep.
And I phoned my lovely wife one Saturday morning. It was about 7:30. And what do you want? I just thought I'd come talk. It's bloody freezing here. There was a few other expletives.
Yep.
She was at the hockey field in
Yep.
Albury-Wodonga. Couldn't see the other side of the hockey field, and it was around about 1 degree. I said, "Oh, it's all right, darling. I'm walking along the beach at Mooloolaba. It's about 15 degrees, 20 degrees, somewhere like that." Click.
Yep.
She hung up on me for the same reason.
Having a good time.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's go back. What's your work? Because you said you were a supervisor.
Yeah, I was a supervisor. Well, I'm a plumber by trade.
Okay.
I did my apprenticeship back in Victoria, Horsham, back in '88, and then eventually come up and played AFL in Brisbane. And then I started with a company as a subcontractor roofer. I had a couple of guys working for me. I did that up to about 99. Then I had enough of that. I decided to work for my father-in-law doing garden bags. Now, garden bags, you probably know, is a wool pack in a frame in the backyard, and people put their lawn clippings, and I used to pick it up. So I did that for a while, for 2 years for my father-in-law, doing the right thing. But in the end, I went back to roofing, and I went back to my old company, and he offered me a job as a supervisor. So I did that 15 years straight. So it was good to be off the tools, but it was stressful. So
okay. So then you started your own roofing
there,
company, and you said you're stressful. Owning your own company's got to be even more, hasn't it?
Definitely. The pay is a lot better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's, I'm 58. I started back when I was 50. So I'm looking at trying to retire in the next 5, maybe 10 years maximum. So I was working for a company after I left the supervising, doing maintenance, and then a guy I was working with, we were doing weekend work together. Yeah. And then we said, why don't we start a business? So we sat down one day and went, oh yeah, let's just start a business. So we were drinking a Great Northern beer, and we couldn't think of any other names for a roofing company. So we went on ASIC website, and fortunate for us, Great Northern Roofing was available. So we bought the name. So that was the start of Great Northern Roofing back in 2018, 2019, just around COVID, which we thought new business, COVID, everything's going to be shut down. But the good thing for us, we're a necessity. We had to keep going because people needed roofs or anything to do with building and that. So it felt really funny being in Brisbane during COVID when it was locked down, because it felt like a Sunday. There was no one around at all.
Quiet.
No traffic, no nothing. It felt really eerie. It's hard to explain. I mean, unless you've done it, it was very strange. But so the business, there was only 2 of us, and there was 3 of us, and now there's 15 of us. So we've built the business up, and turnovers, build, and of course, compliances is a big thing. With our current useless government, with what they make, jump hurdles and more hurdles, and they're getting higher. They're high jumps now.
Oh, really?
So being in the construction industry is getting very difficult. It's going to be the government's way of getting us all to be working for the government. There'll be no builders. There'll be everyone will be working for the government.
Are there enough buildings being built, do you think?
No, not in Brisbane, especially with the Olympics coming up. They're talking about importing. This is Albo's thing about importing trades. And the current government was the one that got rid of apprenticeships.
Well,
so the quality of the work's not as good. So
I did an engineering apprenticeship, and I said to my boys, what do you want to do? And one of them said, I'm not interested in timber woodworking and what have you. And at the time they'd shown them this video in school of hand making house frames. So he's gone, I'm interested in that. Let's see that. And they go, oh no, they don't hand build anymore. They use them all stenciled out and just
prefab frames.
I'm not interested in that. And they lost him, gone.
Yeah.
Now works for the government, doing something else.
And soon it won't be timber frames. It's near enough 50-50 now being steel frames.
Is it really?
Yes. So what's happening is we're getting the iron ore, we're sending it to China, to BHP over there who are making the steels, sending it back to Australia and building it. So it's crazy where we could do it all in our own backyard, but that's, the government is the compliances for small companies that put power up. As you know, everything goes up. So it's so hard for a manufacturing business in Australia to survive.
But they're quite happy to let them disappear out of the country.
Exactly. And then we buy it back. We sell it as dirt, and we buy it back as steel, twice as much.
Somebody was telling me the other day on one of these other podcasts that it's the same with fuel. They just get it out of here, it's refined somewhere else and brought back for twice as much as what, it is.
Yeah,
so anyway.
Well, I live in the Bayside. We've got one of the dearest fuels. It's very rarely under $2 a litre. Doesn't matter what it is. And we're only 25 minutes by truck from where the refineries were, which it's not refined there anymore. It's all shipped in.
Yeah. So where were you before you came here? So you're at home?
Yeah, home on the Bayside.
Why do you pick here? Why do you pick here?
Each year we normally go to Burham Heads, to a place called Burham Shores. It's a like a hip camp on the beach.
Yeah.
We had some friends up there who normally go over Christmas, which they were there with their kids. They booked 2 sites. The kids were only going to stay 1 week, and then we were going to take the other week. Samantha, my wife, looked at hip camp and seen this, and we like these little towns because this is how little towns survive. And, we've spent a bit of money in here, especially at Goodies.
Yeah, exactly.
But, we just like the look of it. There was negative feedback, too small, whatever. I'm like, well, you probably live in a house in a 450 square metre block where you open the bathroom window and you can see into next door or whatever, So,
yeah, that's right.
So that's why I'm not a big person on caravan parks. I like to have the hip camps out in the bush and stuff like that. That's why we bought an off-road caravan.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I drove here, we went, whoa. And I do remember someone saying, oh, it's just someone's backyard. I went, well, let's have a look at it. Don't judge by others. You never judge. You always check it out yourself. Yeah. So somebody who drove in, Rob's fantastic. He welcomed us. We were meant to be on a different site, and he said, oh, your van's a bit bigger. I'll work something out for you. And he solved the problem straight away. It was either that or, my wife said, well, maybe we might have to go somewhere else where it can't fit our van. But Rob accommodated us, and, he's a top bloke. You can't get a better bloke. And everyone here, very friendly, loving it. We're going to be back next year. We're actually going to get our friends, instead of going to Burrum, to come here next year. So we're going to try and book a site here next year.
Lovely. So you say you're pulling up tomorrow.
We'll pull out tomorrow, yep.
And heading back to Brisbane. And
No. Being my own business, and I'm mainly in the office doing all the admin and stuff. I don't have to rush home to be on site on Monday. So we've booked into Noosa Habitat. Yeah, it's meant to be a nice big spot. Good reviews. So
yeah.
So we're going to go there. We're leaving here tomorrow morning, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sad to see you go.
Yeah.
Sad to see you go.
Especially all good things come to an end, isn't it to say?
That's right. Our listeners will know in the end, we're revamping what we call the podcast studio.
Yep.
The podcast studio is actually over there. Mm-hmm. And we're putting new barbecue area in it. So
I know, it's looking good.
It is looking rather good. So we'll be over there. Somebody will be over there as the first victim of the new podcast studio. But it's been nice to have you over there and, what do we say, extracting the urine.
That's it.
What are you pulling? What's your van?
I've got a Fortitude Fortress. Mm-hmm. It's a full off-grid van, 22 foot, about 3.5 tonne. I'm towing it with a Chev Silverado ZR2 1500. It has got a V8 in it, but it uses the same amount of fuel as what my BT 50 used to. But it's very comfortable. Really love it. Yeah. It's and you don't really feel like you're towing a van. You're not getting pulled around like you do in your smaller, your small Australian type vehicles. So be it. So. Yeah.
It's usually about this time in the podcast I ask, is there anything crazy or ever happened that you've seen on a park or what have you? But your story with the BT and your previous van will cut through any of that. Please tell me the story.
Yes, November 2024. I was heading to Victoria for my mum's 80th. It was a 3-week trip. We decided to take off on a Thursday. We wanted to go to Diamond Head, just down past Port Macquarie, down in Kempsey there. We drove 650 k's the first day, pulled up, and I said to Sam, we're not going to unhook the van overnight, as we're just going to stay overnight and then we'll take off. Yeah. So anyway, we took off in the morning. It was raining. It was where you go to Evans Head, it's a really dirt track, a very rough track. So I come out, got on the highway, and within 10 minutes... when you come up to, you got your big bridges and it's bitumen and then it goes concrete, and you only get that difference in height and you get that thump. Well, we got this thump, and all of a sudden...
Makes everything bounce.
I'm not going to swear, but I went, holy hell, the van's loose. So in a split second, I had going for the brake control of the van and deciding when to put the foot on the brakes of the ute. And in that quick instance, I could feel the van was swaying, and we hit the edge of the bridge and the van went over, and because I'd put the brakes on both, the drawbar went underneath the back of the BT 50, and as the van was rolling, it picked the back of the ute up and tipped us over. So the van and my BT 50, we both ended up on our side on the Pacific Motorway going down there. The lady behind us said it looked like it was 20-30 metres. good. My wife was worried because I was on the bottom, scraping along the road. Didn't have the window down, which is thank God. But people come up straight away and got us out, and it was a pretty hair-raising experience. So what happened was the safety chains did their job. The breakaway, well, the breakaways, as everyone knows, is really only there if your chains go, so it's the secondary. But what happened was the DO35 somehow come undone. Now, the copper that come on site said, oh, maybe he didn't have a hooked up pot. I said, mate, I've just driven from Brisbane yesterday, 600 and something Ks. Now, the roads from Brisbane to Port Macquarie is pretty rough. So if I never had it hooked on, the van should have come off between now and then.
Exactly.
And also, we stayed overnight at Diamond Head. The gravel road was pretty rough, and I was dodging potholes, so I don't understand what came on. So he said, well, maybe someone undone it overnight. I said, mate, you're not listening. I come out on a gravel road with potholes, went through them, it didn't come off. So I believe the DO35 failed. I've tried to do some research on it. Our insurance company didn't even question it. They wrote both of them off. But it was a pretty hair-raising experience.
I would imagine it was.
And a lot of people say, oh, caravan speed, but it wasn't speed. I was doing 90 Ks. We'd just come off the on-ramp onto the bridge, and we'd probably done a K when it happened. So it was a hair-raising thing, and it's a good thing.
Hence the grey hair.
Exactly, and no hair. I won't take my hat off. But, I can just say to everyone, it doesn't matter. Don't unhook them. I did check because the DO35, the cap, if that's sitting firmly, that means it's on. It was on. I've actually got a photo, showed the coppers, it's all on. Someone said, why don't you chase up DO35, the company? And I said, well, the insurance company paid out. I'm not going to be.
Have you got a DO35 back on that one now?
No, I upgraded. To a DO45.
Oh, the 40.
So it's a 4.5 ton.
So it's
where that's only a 3.5 ton van.
Exactly.
So,
it's why 35.
Yeah. So I didn't want to, come down that same. I just had that bad feeling that maybe it wasn't big enough, or and I don't believe it was my error. If I was doing it again, maybe I should have taken the cap off. Maybe something wasn't quite right on the DO35, but
you can't think of what if, other than your regular checklist.
Yeah.
When you walk around the van, when you've hitched it up, you do this, check, check. And if you get distracted, I always go back to the start and go again. I did that because I can tell you right now, I've probably missed one, and that'll be the one that's the aerial's up, or I've got something else. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it was a pretty bad experience, and then the tow truck people down there were fantastic. Took the van, and one company took the van somewhere, and then we end up. The car went to Port Macquarie. We stayed there for 2 days. Then I had all my furniture stuff in the van to get home. I had to call my brother at the Gold Coast to hire a little moving truck, because none of the moving trucks down there will go one way. They've got to be returned. So the expense, of my brother coming all the way down from the Gold Coast down to Port Macquarie, picked us up, drove home. It was and disheartening, but in the end, we got to my mother's.
I was about to say, did you get to your mother's birthday?
5 days later, we flew down to Melbourne and caught her up and got to my mum's 80th birthday. So that was the main thing. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've upgraded to the Fortitude and the Chevy.
Yes, with the GVM upgrade in it. So it's bigger than what it needs to be, but still don't get displacement, because a lot of times can be driver error, can be others. So I'm still very, very wary, and makes us pretty nervous. We did a trip around August this year where we went up to Carnarvon Gorge, but we went out through Chinchilla all the way out to Mitchell. And you don't realise how people complain about the roads in and around the cities and that, but when you get out west there's definitely got to be more money you spend on the roads out there, especially when you go outside Chinchilla. It's like it's a big slippery dip. You're up and down, and that certainly tested the DO45 out, but that was a good trip. Carnarvon Gorge. We went to Carnarvon Gorge, Emerald, Kanya Gorge, back to Gayndah, and then Black Butte, and then home. So that was 3 weeks. So.
Yeah, that's a nice trip.
It was a very good trip. Yeah, if anyone wants to do it, I'd do it. It's a big walk at Carnarvon Gorge, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
Dream trip.
Our dream trip. We've got a couple. Well, obviously, the dream trip is like every Aussie. my age or a bit older wants to do the lap. But with my business, we're going to do something a bit smaller. We were hoping in April to go to Tasmania. But
Okay.
like it is, you can't get onto the ferry down there. It's nearly, there was two vans going down and we couldn't get on till September. So we're reevaluating it now when we go in September. But we're doing another trip down to Monday this year. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to the music festival. So,
There you go. See,
yeah.
there was somebody came through here the other day who was making noise about he actually drove down
Yep.
to Melbourne, costed up and stored his van, drove over with his ute, hired another van on the other side in Tassie,
Okay.
drove around, and it was cheaper
Yep.
than doing the whole lot.
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay. Well, we looked at the Winnebagos. We thought we'll go across
okay,
them.
yeah.
But they were for 3 weeks. Well, 2 weeks we're going to be over there.
Yeah.
They were 10 grand. We're like, that's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money.
A lot of money. Because our partners want the toilet, the shower and that. So,
Yes, because they can't go and have a bush pee.
no.
We'll say that.
Yeah.
They're going to have the bush pee. And you said you're going to be back.
Yes, we'll definitely come back here. I'll be looking and we're talking to our friends who we go do all our trips with.
Yeah.
And we're going to convince them to try and weigh the book into 5 and 6.
Yeah.
If they're available. But yeah, we're definitely going to come back. I love it here because 5-minute walk at the back, you've got the creek. Of course, some fish there, maybe not eatable. Walk straight down to a couple of nice little restaurants, not flash, but very handy, very good, great service. And then you've got the beach. It's probably the best beach around.
Because it's so far out or so close in, depending on what the tide is, because
Exactly.
of the great sandy park.
And because it's on the side of the creek, you're not like at Burrum Shores, where you got to walk half a clay out to get some water once the tide's out. You've still got the creek there and go for a swim.
And-
Swim, fish, the dogs. You can't ask for much more, can you?
Exactly right.
That is fantastic.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us, and thanks for staying for a while.
No, that's cool, mate. Thank you for having me.
The morning just drifts in, slow and easy, like everything else here. The tents get packed up, the hitches get hitched on, and some folks roll out, while the wise ones hang around for a bit, watching the dust settle and letting those last stories float through the quiet air. But that quiet never lasts for long. The road always brings a new storyteller, someone looking for a place to rest and share what they've seen. And when they stop for a while, their stories become part of ours. Stopped for a While is written and produced by Macmouth Media. Original music was written and performed by Ben Clayton, with special thanks to Rob Laffer, the man at Serenity Caravan Park. If you like these stories, please rate, review and share them so we can tell them everywhere. And hey, we'd love to hear from you too. Just drop us a line, stoppedforawhile.com.au. Send us an email or on Instagram. And now it's time for another cool drink. Thanks for stopping for a while.